All right, Mr. Taliaferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? There are a lot of Mac Miller fans, and I seen a couple clips from Mac Miller's show that they did for him and his foundation and in his name. You know, they did. I think I seen Travis Scott on that stage. Miguel was on the stage performing for Mac Miller, and a lot of other artists. Ty Dolla $ign was on that stage, and some other artists as well that put on this phenomenal show for Mac Miller on the West Coast, celebrating his death and his foundation. We all do remember back in September, I believe, Mac Miller was found in his crib due to an overdose. And yeah, it was just super sad, man. It's been a very up and down year, I feel like, in the culture of hip-hop. And Mac Miller's death was definitely one of the bad spots, because anybody with eyes that was around Mac Miller, you listen to him talk, you can hear that they kind of knew this was coming. So I do think it's worth giving this final detail to this young brother's life, and explaining how his last couple hours went and what the heck happened to him and what it was his cause of death. So Mac died of a mix of fentanyl and cocaine. All right, so just to be clear, it wasn't the fact that Mac Miller had a crap ton of cocaine in his system. It wasn't the fact that he had a crap ton of fentanyl in his system or a crap ton of alcohol in his system. It's the fact that he mixed those drugs and alcohol together, specifically the fentanyl and cocaine. That was what, and they're labeling it an accidental overdose. That is what killed him. As a matter of fact, more details have emerged due to Mac's autopsy. The report says that Mac's assistant found him unresponsible on his bed in a praying position, kneeling forward with his face resting on his knees. The assistant said when he or she walked into the room, Mac was already blue when they called 911. And, there was a 1/4 inch abrasion on the bridge of his nose, and there was blood coming out of Mac's nostril. An empty bottle of alcohol was found on a nightstand near Mac's body. A bottle of prescription pills was found in the bathroom. They found Xannies, Oxys, Hydros, and some Addies. Cops also found a rolled up $20 bill with a white powdery residue in Mac's right pocket, and an iPad in his home studio with some white powder on it as well. There were also 2 baggies found with the white powder. Again, it wasn't the fact that he was doing these things, which we're not justifying on my platform. It's the fact that he was mixing these drugs. You know, sometimes, you know, once you get started with these drugs, you're so high you start mixing stuff. Or maybe the one drug can no longer get you where you need to get. You need to mix it to you get so high you're trying to chase that feeling that you might have had a couple times, and every time you do the drug, you're less likely to feel what you felt the first time you did it, you know? And I don't know, man. You seen Ariana Grande? She was praying for Mac before all of this happened. Remember, she was, you know, after Mac had like a car accident where he wrecked his G-Wagon in a 1-car accident. You know, Mac, a lot of people was concerned about Mac. You know, I think the scariest thing is, and we all got a friend that's dealing with this right now, or a family member, or hell, even scarier enough, maybe we're the person dealing with this right now. You know, I'm not the party pooper type person. I just pray people being responsible and thinking through what they doing, and just, man, know the repercussions of your family and, you know, and your friends and your loved ones when you leave early. You know, again, I am not the fun police. I'm struggling with, put it like this, I'm struggling right now with people around me that I'm afraid of potential drug usage in the future. So y'all not alone. The people out there looking after other people, I'm right there in the battle. I'm trying to find words to tell people we in that weird era, man. Like I grew up on rap music when I was like 8, 9 years old. I used to listen to rappers, and they were always talking about you know, selling a drug. That used to be the thing when I was young. I'm 24, so that used to be the thing when about 15 years ago, trap music was starting. Everybody was just so happy to have a spot in the game. Everybody was just discussing selling drugs. You know, these dudes were fresh off the streets. A lot of guys still are fresh off the streets. But slowly, as time kind of moved on, like through the Wayne and the Future eras, we slowly started to hear rappers not only discuss selling the drug, but even using a little bit of their supply. And now we fast forward 2018. There are a lot of people out here not even discussing selling the drug anymore. And I'm not justifying selling the drug. I'm just telling y'all where I just feel like how we kind of transition. And now we're at the space where you got a lot of rappers and people who relate to these rappers who are just using the drug, not selling it. We just abusers. And one person put it like this, and it makes a crap ton of sense. You had so many people 20, 30 years ago discussing selling drugs. Somebody had to use this stuff and they grew up. You know what I mean? People were selling these drugs to people, you know, and now those people have grown up and we're now looking at a society that's facing the consequences of what people sold. All scary stuff, but I want to say rest in peace to Mac Miller one more time, and just want to send some prayers up to his family, everybody affected, the Ariana Grandes of the world, anybody in that brother's life. It's just tough, man. He had a huge impact. And in rap, you know, I lived in Knoxville, so I lived in Knoxville when I was in undergrad. So trust me, I know, like, Mac Miller's music relates to like a city like Knoxville a lot. I ran into a lot of Mac Miller fans. I think he did a couple shows in Knoxville while I was in undergrad. So I know, like, there's an audience for that. You know what I mean? For sure, he was a big time deal. You know, and he sold records during his peak. So the fact that people, you know, lost his brother, his music is still doing well on the charts right now. I'm seeing people talk about Mac a lot, and that one hurts. You know, that one just hurts, and you just the way somebody went out when you know there was nothing you could do about it, I guess, in a way, because that person had money, that person had fame, anything that they could ask for in life, maybe they had. And when I say they had money, they had to, you know, they just could be able to get those things that probably were good for their life, but also detrimental. Thank y'all so much for the time, love. Put it, don't take it for granted. Again, those are some of the last details and the autopsy report of Mac Miller and what the heck happened. It was a mix of drugs, not just one drug specifically, but it was mixing fentanyl and cocaine specifically, and then he had some alcohol, you know, in his system as well at the time of his death. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. They are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
Taliaferro.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr. Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV. Here with the triple B's. You can't do nothing but win.